Okay. This is what we're talking about today. We're talking about why you should go live. Hey, Brian, how are you? Good to see you. What is the purpose of going live? Why should you go live? Why should anybody go live? What does this even mean? I just want to talk really briefly about this and what this video is all about. We're talking about live video and why this is important. Is this important? Does it even matter? Is there a purpose for this? Should everybody be doing it? Should only a few people be doing it? Is it something that is worthy of our attention? Is there some reason that it's becoming more popular in social media? It's becoming a little bit more leverageable for companies, for businesses, for individuals, for causes. We've seen all sorts of benefits for this, and I just want to talk really briefly. I'm going to share this out really quickly. I'm also recording this. So a lot of great ways that you can utilize your live video, if you don't know, is you can actually share your broadcast out. You can plan it. You can organize it in advance, which I have done right here with title cards. Those of you on Twitter can't see this, but I have some screen share going on right now because I'm actually producing some content for my course, and I'm going to talk a little bit about that very shortly. Just give me just 2 seconds here. Let me know where you're joining from. Let me know where you are, and I would love to hear from you. Why should you go live? What is the purpose? Now, do I think that everybody should go live? Absolutely not. I don't think that everybody should be going live. I don't think that this is something that just because it's popular, I don't think that you should be doing it. And I'm just going to talk about, you can see by the title card there, those of you on Facebook, you can see the title card, 3 easy steps. Just some things that I want to talk about, ways that you can make your broadcasts, more effective, and just some things that we can talk about and discuss. And I'll take questions later. Just like to present this really quickly. I can't think of a more cost-effective, I can't think of a more user-friendly, I can't think of a more advantageous way for you to reach your audience, for you to actually empower your voice and get it out there than live video, okay? It's no question, it's no doubt, the dispute should be over that social media is not just for kicks and giggles. That actually some very, very opportunistic, beneficial, some cause-oriented, business-oriented, education-oriented, informational-oriented things can be achieved by using live video. This should not be new at all. And why I think you should go live is because it gives you a platform, it's practically free. Yes, you may have to, invest in a few tools, but very, very little. And I'm going to talk about that in the coming steps. Why you should go live. I think that you should go live if you care at all about putting your 2 cents on any subject, if you care at all about talking with your audience, if you care at all about reach. If you have something to say, this is the best platform. This is the best way to go about it. Okay, I am sitting right now in my home studio talking to you, okay, from my home studio. Hello, Facebook. It's me, Professor Nez. And I'm able to reach my audience. I'm able to reach everybody on my page. I'm ready to reach all my friends. I'm able to reach my students, okay, which is really the main reason why I use a lot of live video, and I use a lot of maybe quote unquote, even though they're not advanced, more advanced softwares and things of that nature that allow me to do this. Isn't that cool, guys? So cool. So cool. So why I think you should go live is the main thing is that the fact that everybody now has an opportunity to inject whatever they believe, whatever they want to talk about, whatever they want to, broadcast to the masses. I mean, 1.87 billion people cannot lie. right? 300 million people. Even though there's a lot of talk that Twitter is kind of on its way down, doesn't matter. There's still a lot of people using Twitter, and it's free. It's practically free. This levels the playing field, okay? There's a reason why CNN and Bloomberg and the NFL, there's a reason why they're leveraging live video, why they're making deals with Twitter and Facebook and YouTube. This is such a strong, powerful way for anybody to get their thoughts, their opinions, their thesis out there into the world and actually have a stance on something, have a platform where you can talk about things. Now this medium really complements my personality. I mean, this is just kind of, I love sharing. I'm a writing professor, I'm an author, I'm a speaker, and this is something that I love to do, and it really complements my personality, and I have a lot of business kind of aspects that I'm using live video for. I'm leveraging live video for a lot of my courses, my books, and other things. But, you don't have to do all that. It doesn't have to be that involved. It doesn't have to be used for business, period. Okay, so I just want to talk about a few things, a few couple of steps that I've put together that really help. So if you're interested in live video, if you're curious about it, if you're a little bit nervous, if you're a little intimidated or maybe daunted by the fact of being in front of a camera, not being in front of a camera, having people watch you, right? Having people, tune into you, and that can be kind of intimidating from God knows where. I mean, Facebook is global, Twitter is global. A lot of these platforms are global. I think that this video will help you. I think that this live stream will definitely help you. At least I hope it will. So I'm going to be presenting just a couple of steps that I think that you can use literally today, and then I'll go into any kind of Q&A towards the end, okay? So let's just get right into it. So step one, understand your purpose. Okay, this is something that applies to all sorts of mediums, applies to all sorts of facets in your life if you really think about it. As a matter of fact, all of these 3 steps that I'm going to be going through and walking through and talking through, I think have a lot to do with so many other broader topics that relate to your life. And I'd be really intrigued to see what your thoughts are. Understand your purpose. The more you have identified a clear objective, no matter what the objective is, the more effective your broadcast will be. I want to make this very, very clear, okay? I want to make this very, very clear. Purpose doesn't mean that you have to have some kind of lofty, profound purpose for getting on, these platforms. And I mean, a lot of people, okay, use live video for very simple, fun, entertaining, silly things. I'm a big fan of silly. Those people who know me, my students who know me, know that I love to have fun. I love to inject a lot of, joy and fun in my classes and make it as engaging. And I crack jokes all the time. And I try to, really walk that fine line between, it's time to get down to business and, let's have some fun and not take it too seriously. I'm a big believer that education's biggest failure is that the way that it's been taught, how you should be delivering the education, how you should be delivering the curriculum, has been, has been demonstrated in the sense that it needs to be profoundly serious and it needs to be profoundly sobering. And yes, I agree, there's a time and a place for that. And, there's been this sort of invisible barrier put between you and the student, which I think doesn't help. I think doesn't help at all. And I think it's the reason why there seems to be this, you're the student, I'm the professor, this separation or segregation, if you will, that I think has really created a lot of problems. So I really try to put myself on the level of the students. I try to engage, as openly as possible. And students who've responded really well to my courses know this. So I want to be very, very clear when I say understand your purpose. Your purpose does not need to be this cause or this political agenda or philosophical or something, humanitarian. It doesn't necessarily need to be that. Your purpose can be very, very silly. It doesn't matter what your purpose is, as long as you identify what that purpose is. Even if your purpose is, look, I'm just testing this, like I've done that before, I've gone on, I've gone live and literally the title of my live was, I'm just testing this, or I'm testing this software, or you see a lot of broadcasters use, um, unboxing videos. They do a lot of unboxing videos. They're trying out a new camera, a new software, a new technology, and they go live. Okay, it's a great way to show people new stuff, cool stuff, engage with them, interact with them. Another thing, and maybe I failed to mention this in the beginning of the broadcast, is there is no other sense of intimacy that you can get with live video, okay? There's no other way for an author to be more intimate with his readership than live video. There's really, I mean, and we're talking on a scalable level, on a massive level. Obviously, you can go do book signings, and there's intimate one-on-ones that are fantastic and beautiful. But, friends, family, people across the pond, people from large, who are not in your, nearest proximity. There's just, this is such a beautiful, convenient, technology has created this beautiful thing, and we can harp on it negatively, and we can come up with all these dystopian ideas that technology is ruining everything, and we can say all of these things and have this type of mindset, but I choose to avoid that. I choose to really try to look at the bright side. I try to be as optimistic as I can because it doesn't do me any good to focus on the negative things. Yes, there's negative things to every type of technology, absolutely. But this isn't the broadcast to talk about that. I'm here to talk about live video. I'm here to talk about why I feel like if you have something to say, if you have, any type of thought on any type of subject, that this is just a really simple, easy, cost-effective way to go about it, and it's so intimate with your audience. Okay, let me check real quick and just see how it's going on Facebook Live. How are you guys doing over there in Facebook? You guys doing okay? Twitter Live, give me some hearts. Let me know that you're there. Okay, looks like I'm getting a couple of views. Fantastic. Happy Saturday, everybody. Saturday, February 18th. A couple of my friends have some birthdays today. Happy birthday, Janessa. I know Janessa's. Damian, how you doing? Good to see you. Okay, so I want to really make that really crystal clear. I don't think that you should just, jump on. Very good to see you too, Damia. I don't think that you should just go live because it's a popular thing. I don't think that you should just do it for the sake of the fact that other people are doing it and that everybody else is doing it. And I understand social psychology. I understand the influence of your peers, the influence of your inner network and even your outer network. I get that. But I'm here to tell you that just doing it for doing its sake, you might not have as an effective broadcast as you possibly can. So I think if you identify whatever objective that is, if you want to be silly, you want to be stupid, you want to do whatever it is you want to do, if you have that objective in mind and you stay focused, I think your broadcast is going to be that much more stronger. And at the same time, you don't get, tangential and veer off on all sorts of different things. It just keeps you focused. You've got an objective, and that helps quell the nerves as well. When you have an objective and when you have a strategy going forward, then you can focus. You have something to focus on. I don't think you should be reading cue cards. I know some people who invest in teleprompters who really go all out. Me, I feel like if I just stay within my domain and don't try to kind of do things that are way out of my domain, and communications and writing and speaking and presenting is totally in my domain, you know, I think it's an ethos thing. If you know your stuff and you know it well, you don't need notes, okay? Just own it and just execute, right? So again, knowing your purpose, having some type of strategy, understanding what that is a great way for you to move forward. Okay, step two. Step two. It's going to get a little bit more complicated, but not really if you really think about it. Step one was pretty simple. Okay, know what your purpose is, and that purpose can be anything. Step two, really, really important. Do not overthink it. So many people, before they click that live button, before they go live, they basically paralyze themselves. It's called analysis paralysis. Really, there's a phrase for it. We overthink it. We think that we're not prepared. We think that we have to have all these things. We think that we have to be this type of individual. We think that we have to be this type of network or broadcaster, or this type of organization, or you need to be a social media buff or something to use it. That's just not true. Now, notice how I didn't say, a lot of people who do these type of live video tutorials, and I've noticed it, they say, just go ahead and do it. Just click that live button. Just do it. Don't even think about it at all. Just go ahead and do it, right? I mean, I purposely said don't overthink it, but I don't think you should underthink it. Does that make sense? I think there should be a little sense of, purpose, and a little sense of, professionalism. I mean, not professionalism in the sense that you might think of it, but I definitely, there's a fine line, and I definitely don't think you should underthink it and just get on there and I see so many broadcasts where as soon as the live, you get that live notification, and people are just staring at the camera for like a good 2-3 minutes, and nothing's happening. I mean, it's really just like, what's going on here? It looks like almost like a deer in headlights. And then they wonder why people aren't checking out their broadcasts, or they're wondering why they're not getting views. There's a lot of individuals and even so-called experts out there saying, just do it, just do it. Don't worry about this, don't worry about anything. I don't really subscribe to that. Again, I don't think you should overthink it, but I definitely don't think you should underthink it. Yes, be you. Yes, be yourself. And yes, be authentic and all that. That's fantastic. But, I think that if you really want live video, if you really, understand the platform's capacity, and you understand its presence and its power to reach on a very scalable level, then I think you should put some thought into it. Does that make sense? Just a little bit of thought into it. I mean, not so much to where you're stifled, but at least a little bit so that your audience can get the most value. That's really it. So going back to the card, don't overthink it. Transparency, authenticity rule this medium. I don't know if that's any different from other mediums, but again, I said this from the beginning. A lot of these steps, are really applicable to pretty much all facets, a lot of facets of your life. Transparency and authenticity. I mean, really, you just got to be you. You got to be honest. You got to be sincere. Your word and your name. I talked about this on my Mindset Live show. Your word and your name, your credibility. If you're trying to be something that you're not, you're just going to fail miserably. If you're trying to put on a show, and I don't mean produce a show, I don't mean, put some thought into it, right? Put some kind of production value into it. I don't mean that. But if you're trying to basically pose as some type of imposter, and boy, does this have applications for everything in life. Your audience can smell that coming. If you're trying to con your audience can smell that coming a million miles away. Don't try to con your audience. It's just you're not going to be effective at all. That is the ultimate disengaging tool. Trying to be something that you're not, trying to, adopt some type of posture or some type of title or some type of expertise when you don't have any expertise is really, really bad boogie. And I don't want to see anybody fall prey to that. I don't want to see anybody fall prey to that. This actually should alleviate a lot of stress, okay? The more transparent you are, the more authentic you are. You don't have to remember the lie. You don't have to remember the con. You don't have to put on anything, right? You're just trying to be as engaging, as deeply vested in your audience interest as possible, period. That's it. The next bullet point there that really a lot of people overthink, and I really want to talk about this, and maybe even more so than other things. Don't think you need to have premier audio, video, and technical skills to go live. So many people, I see this all the time. So many people think I need to have the DSLR camera, I need to have audio equipment, I need to have lighting equipment. Yes, I have invested in some lighting. I've got a lav mic right here. Okay, I've got another mic on its way from Amazon. God knows when it's going to get here. Hey, Amazon, where the hell are you? But I'm using my laptop. I'm using my iPhone. I don't have an expensive DSLR camera. You don't need the lights. You don't even need the audio, really. You can go outside. You can use lighting, natural lighting. I mean, there was a time when I would just use a lamp, a really bright lamp, okay? But because I'm doing a lot of online teaching and because I'm actually teaching courses and I'm actually producing products and using live video to leverage my businesses, you know, I've gone that route. But again, identify, this goes to the first step. Identify what your purpose is, okay? If you're somebody who, is, for some reason I keep thinking of politics, but if you're somebody who's sick and tired of what's going on, if you're sick and tired of a purveying thought or philosophy or mindset that seems to be ruminating, across the landscape, and you have something to say about it, right? And you just want to engage with audiences and you just got something you need to get off your chest, I can't think of a better tool than this. I mean, I honestly can't. I can't think of a better tool than directly engaging with your audience, in a very immediate live fashion, right? Where you can actually interact with them. I can't think of a better medium. I just can't. So you don't have to have, you definitely do not have to have all the premier audio, video, and technical skills. I've got a lav mic right here. It cost me about $50. I did invest in some lights, but that's just because I turned, one of the rooms in our house into a studio. But I don't have the expensive DSLR camera, $3,000, 80D camera or anything like that. I don't have, my lighting, is very, very minimal, but you don't even need that. Okay. Most technology, here's the point, just to wrap up that second bullet point. Most technology that we already use, okay, right now, literally everybody's got a phone, everybody's got a camera, right? Camera phone or smartphone. Most technology that we already basically have on our person every single day of our lives, is sufficient, pure and simple. One of the things that I see a lot of people are, stifled by, and they don't follow through with any of this type of this medium, is that they think, they're sort of overburdened by the thought that, oh my God, look at all these people who are broadcasting. They've got microphones, they've got audio, they've got video, they've got lighting, they've got production value. I think that you should put some thought into it, but don't overthink it. I mean, you can start off very, very simple. Snapchat is a great medium that you can start with. Okay, Snapchat is, a way to get comfortable in front of the camera. It disappears, right, after 24 hours. So does Instagram stories. And it's a great way to maybe start. I started on Snapchat, a year and a half ago. And, just, being a natural storyteller, being an author, and being somebody who, teaches at the university level, it just came naturally for me. And I love doing it. And if you love doing it, you'll be good at it, period. Okay, the last bullet point, simple is best. So that kind of relates to what I just said earlier. You don't need to get all technical. You don't need to get so advanced, especially when you're starting out. Just get comfortable. Just start getting cooking. I think more so, think about what it is. What's your objective? What would you like to happen with live video? Do you want more sales? Do you want more conversions? Do you want a large followership? Do you want a large audience? Are you trying to advocate some type of cause, maybe some charity or fundraising? Whatever the objective is, the more that you identify that and the more that you follow through with that, okay, and you support that, keep it simple. Just keep it very, very simple. It doesn't need to be so produced. Okay, that's one of the beautiful things. It's so easy. Now you can even go live, even though I'm using a third-party software right now for Facebook, you can go live from the desktop on Facebook. I'm doing a dual cast right now. I'm going on Twitter Live and I'm on Facebook Live. I already promoted on Instagram and Snapchat and Facebook that I was going to do this, right? So I've got a pretty good audience right now, people watching. Don't overthink it. Don't overthink it. Just be you, okay? Be simple. Keep it simple. All right. Identify what it is you want and just follow through. You're going to make mistakes. You're going to make, especially in the beginning when you start, okay, the nerves are always there. I've been in front of lecture halls and auditoriums and speaking engagements for the last 15 years. I still get nervous before I hit that live button. It's very natural. There's nothing wrong with that. The difference is how you respond to those nerves. The nerves are always going to be there. Okay, if you care, the nerves are going to be there. If you don't care, the nerves are not there, right? Any jerk can do it. But if you care even a little bit, the nerves are going to be there because you want to do well. That's a good sign. Look at that differently. Keep it simple. Keep it simple. Last but not least, let's look at the third title card here, the third step, and maybe even the most important, audience retention. Now, time can fly. If you're not focused, it can get way out of control, right? You can see here, make sure you provide the very first bullet point. What does audience retention mean? It basically means that audiences they have the attention span now, that is not even equivalent to a goldfish, okay? There are goldfish right now swimming in the sea who have a larger attention span than most humans in 2017. I wrote an article about this on LinkedIn with an infographic that shows just what I'm talking about. Attention spans are shrinking rapidly every single day. Everybody has ADHD. Everybody does. Okay? If that really exists. So you have to grab your audience's attention. Now, once you get their attention, you need to retain it. That's what that means, right? So make sure you provide relevant information quickly. Why should the audience watch this? What is the purpose of them watching this? What can they get out of this? Let them know what the video is about. Having a good title is extremely important. A good title to your video. Having a powerful, eye-popping, attention-gaining title to your broadcast is the first step. It's the first window the audience gets, the first glimpse the audience gets of who you are and what you're about and what you're about to basically execute and convey, right? So the 60 seconds rule, I put this in there because I think it's so important. In that first 60 seconds is make or break, okay? You got to let them know exactly who you are, what you're about, what the real kind of meat and potatoes of your video entails, and it must be short, it must be fast. You want to avoid length. Now, I know some live broadcasters, will go in great detail of who they are, and they'll constantly remind their audience who they are. My sort of, and there's some people who are the exact opposite. I mean, they think that you shouldn't even tell people who you are. You should just basically just start, just go. I'm more of that mindset, but I guess I'm somewhere in between. I don't mind introducing myself, and especially because I know there's a lot of replay viewers, and we'll talk about replay viewers. And I know that there's perhaps some new members, checking me out, some new people watching my videos and watching my content. And I want them to know who I am, just in case they just kind of come across. The Facebook algorithm, especially, I think all these platforms now are going to be really implementing this, really pushes live video, really gives a large boost to live video broadcasts more so than any other type of content, long form blogs, photos and things of that nature. Live video is really getting a big boost from the actual algorithm ensconced within Facebook and Twitter and these other platforms. I think YouTube, which just recently implemented mobile live for people over 10,000 subscribers, is really jumping on that sort of bandwagon, and I'm sure Snapchat is next. So you want to, so there's some people who say you should, and other people say you definitely shouldn't. I'm somewhere in between. Just keep it snappy, keep it fast. Let people know who you are, okay? Let people know what the video is about, okay? And then get right into it. And also, you want to beware of replay viewers. This is something that a lot of people don't talk about, especially if you're producing, broadcasts on Facebook and Twitter and Periscope, which is basically Twitter Live, and YouTube, because those videos become embedded within your feed after you're finished with your live broadcast, right? So if you're constantly repeating yourself, if people are going to be engaging with you and asking you questions, and you're constantly repeating yourself, and you're not thinking of that replay viewer, that's great that you're giving attention to your audience that's immediate, that's right there watching you live, but just be aware of your replay viewer. I mean, you want to pretty much avoid repetition in general, right? Because even new people who join the broadcast, and this is something that I really want to go into great detail with in my next video, the next lecture. More people, are joining in a little bit later, and so they missed, what you talked about in the beginning. This is what I always say. Instead of repeating what I already, went over and repeating with the content that I was trying to communicate, I just simply say, please watch the replay. I already mentioned that, in a very humble and a very nice, congenial way. Just, hey, thank you so much for joining us. I kind of already went over that. Please do me a favor and just watch that on the replay, but I got to kind of roll forward here. Avoid repetition at all costs. And that really goes for almost every medium, right? So this step really is something that is a little bit further down the road, audience retention. For now, I would think about identifying your purpose, finding out what that is, really diving deep, okay, and not overthinking it. And then you can start to think about audience retention. You can come back to this video anytime and watch that, because this is where you keep them. This is where you sustain your broadcast. You sustain, the thesis of whatever the value is you're trying to bring. And most platforms reward that kind of relevancy, okay? And this is a way for you to grow. This is a way for you to grow in any fashion you want. Whether or not you want to grow a business, whether or not you want sales, conversions, leads, what have you. Or if you just want to get on here and have fun and just engage with an audience and get a big followership, PewDiePie and Casey Neistat, a lot of these individuals, they don't do tutorials. They don't do a lot of demonstrative information or edutainment type of broadcasts. Their videos are just complete fun, and I love them. Great stuff. Just having, being silly at times, being serious at times, mixing it up, and just basically just wowing their audience with off-the-wall content. And that's completely beautiful, right? And they've gained massive, massive audiences, right, by doing that. Purpose doesn't have to be something profound, okay? So I hope you got some value out of this. I hope you enjoyed this video. This is what I like to do at the end of my broadcast. I thank you, okay? I thank my audience. That's what you want to do when you go live, is you want to thank your audience for watching, thank you for viewing, and then I even thank my replay viewers. Thank you for watching this on the replay. Thank you. Now, Nez Nation, some of you see the shirt, some of you see the sign. Nez Nation is, a part of my tribe. I'm included in that tribe. There's no way I'm the leader of that. It's just a tribe of revolutionary thinkers and creative artists and just off-the-wall thinkers and content creators. People who want to inspire each other, basically, to put it simply. So I usually say, thank you so much, Nez Nation. Love you guys. I wish you guys nothing but the best. If you got value, this is something else I do, and you can do this too when you're doing a live video. If you felt that this was valuable, if you felt that you got something out of this video, please share this with your followers. Share this with some friends who might be able to get some value out of it as well. So you want a call to action is what a lot of people call that. You want to request your audience to share your content, right? Because if you share your content, if they share your content, that's a great way for you to grow. Not only just in sales and leads and things of that nature, but just grow have an audience. You got to have an audience first. If you want to do anything with live video, you got to have an audience, right? So I always say that at the end of my broadcasts, and you should too, okay? So thank them, encourage them to share. And if there's any questions, I'll take questions right now from the audience. If anybody has any questions, I would love to hear them. Sean says, I have a slow connection. Catch the replay. Okay, no problem. No problem. Thank you, Sean, for watching. Fantastic. Any questions out there in Twitter world? Okay, it doesn't look like there is. Again, thank you so much. Have a wonderful, wonderful day, and I'll see you guys next time. This has been fantastic. Why go live? I think you should go live. I think you should definitely think about this. I can't think of a better way for you to get your purpose across to a specific audience, whatever that purpose is, to whomever that audience may be. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful, wonderful day. See you next time, guys.